Hi, this is Tony. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please consider liking if you like it and subscribing, because I will be doing regular Leica reviews and look backs. Next one is the M9, which is coming soon. This one, however, we're going to be looking at the new Leica firmware update that is particularly relevant to the later M10 models. Now, it's the M10-R, the M10P and the M10 Monochrome. I have an M10P here, the reporter edition. You may have seen before in my previous video. What the new firmware update does is gives you a new feature, and we all like new features, don't we? It's like having a new camera. That's quite pertinent if you take a lot of imagery of architecture. So what we don't want to do is take an image and it comes back, it kind of gets distorted. We might have the camera slightly tilted, up, down, sideways. What the new facility does, it's called the LPC. They like initials. LPC stands for Leica Perspective Control. And it uses the camera's integrated orientation sensors to level off the straight lines and to correct the lines in the recorded image. The interesting thing is it doesn't affect your digital images, your raw files, but it will affect your JPEGs. Please let me know if I'm wrong in that respect, but I'm pretty sure it's just the JPEGs. Your raw file is untouched, and you can do that in the software if you wish. But it does give you a new feature available, and it's in the capture assistance of the menu. So once you've updated your firmware, the firmware came out in January, by the way, 2021. And what you're looking for is number 3.21.3.50. That's the new firmware. When you update, it takes about 10 minutes. Make sure you've got an recharged battery. Make sure the battery level is up. It took me a couple of attempts to actually get the firmware into the camera. But having got it in there, what it does give you is this new facility. The new facility you'll find is in Capture Assists, rather. So if you go into Menu, into Capture Assists, having updated the firmware, he's just looking for it now. Okay, let's have a little look there. In there, you should see at the very, very bottom, the new facility called Perspective Control. Now if I go down there and put that on, okay, you'll notice when I put it on, it takes away some of the other facilities in the menu. There's no histogram for some reason, and the level is disappeared, the grids have disappeared because it doesn't need them. So that's on now. So what that provides me now is when I put it onto live view, I've got this very curious square that moves around, almost like the square at the end of Superman, if you remember that movie. It moves around, very weird. But what it does do, it straightens up the lines in your images. So I can't actually, there's nothing really I can shoot at the moment. Let's just try one, shall we? It's probably all out of focus. And it does crop, by the way. So I don't know if you can see much there. And it's relatively straightened up some of those lines. I've got an image that I can show you earlier. Now this is a picture of a blind with a shelf, windowsill with some bottles on it. Clearly I've angled the camera so that it's not horizontal. Yeah, it's not horizontal. So putting the LPC on, and you can see that it's cropped, but it's leveled the blinds. They are now vertical and the shelf is horizontal. So it does crop, that's a factor to bear in mind, but it does level it out pretty quickly as soon as you see the image. As I said, it does crop. The interesting fact is if you have JPEG on and RAW on, the RAW is untouched, so you can adjust that later. The JPEG file will be manipulated such like. So it's a facility called the LPC, Leica call it Leica Perspective Control. It does give the camera an extra facility. And if you like taking pictures of churches, which I do, who doesn't, and architecture occasionally, it's a nice thing to play around with. I've also known it work in woodland and nature. If the camera's slightly tilted, it will actually adjust the trees slightly, make the image look a little bit more satisfactory to look at, the final image. So I have a play around with that. I'm not 100% sure if the update is available for the Q. I have a Q here. I'm going to find out later. If anybody knows, let me know whether the Q or the Q2 can benefit from the Leica Perspective Control as well. Might be useful to know, but I'm going to be looking at that later. Please subscribe to my channel. As I said, the M9P is going to be looked at retrospectively later, so that's going to be my next video. I'm going to have a little bit of fun with that. We're talking about a camera that came out in 2009, I think. So, and it's still good, and I'll let you know why it's still good. So, thank you for joining me. Have fun with the latest update. Let me know what you think of the latest update, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hi folks, it's Tony. Just a quick tip for you. Imagine you're taking a portrait, quick street scene, and then you want to take an interesting building. You want to put your perspective control on quickly, but it's not available without you going into the menus, sifting through the menus. It's a bit of a process we don't like. Let's face it, that's why we bought a Leica. We don't like menus. So what you can do is put this perspective control into your favorites. It was a nice surprise to find that, because normally perspective control is in the capture assists, as I mentioned earlier. That means finding that, then going through all of that and then flicking it on. Put it into your favorites. So now when I switch on, it's just gone to sleep. Here we go. So we're going to menu, and if you look straight away, I've got all my needy options, but there you go. Perspective control is on or off. I can toggle it on and off without doing anything. It's straight into the menu. So what you want to do, folks, is to go into your favorites and select perspective control. The nice thing is it's just that parameter. It's not the capture assist. It's just perspective control, and you can have it instantly accessible. So a little tip for you. Please consider liking. Whoa, there's my thumb. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.